Hello guys, alexab.alchemy here for your weekly card pull. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for the week of October 29th all the way through November 4th. Now this reading is specifically designed and channeled for my Capricorn, so if you are a Capricorn sun, moon, rising, and or north node, this one is for you. Now I have two different decks that I'm going to be doing a pull from. Today I'm going to be starting out with my Moonology deck. This is an oracle deck, and then I will move into tarot. So the first question that I want to ask for you, my dear Capricorns, I open up most, if not all of my readings with this question, and the question is just what guidance might be helpful for you, or what themes might you be noticing or looking at in this upcoming week. So just to kind of give you an idea of what you might be expecting, what you might be experiencing, and some things that might help you to navigate it, because we all need a little bit of that sometimes, once in a while. I'm gonna shuffle this one more time and see what comes out for you guys. So as I'm doing this, I have recently decided I will probably be sticking to doing Capricorn only readings for the immediate future, just because I have been out of readings for so freaking long and my schedule has been so busy that the idea of doing 12 readings every single week is a little bit exhausting. So I will be focusing predominantly on Capricorn. Yeah, and if you have any questions on anything that comes up in this reading, as always, please feel free to reach out and to let me know. Okay, I had a few cards that wanted to come out. So the first thing that I am gonna start with, all right. So the first card I'm gonna go with, full moon in Capricorn, pretty ironically. The end of a tough cycle approaches. I love this card. I think for obvious reasons, this is a very encouraging card to pull. That being said, life is all about cycles and seasons. Things happen in cycles and seasons. And if you have been going through a bit of a rough patch, my dear, the encouragement with this card is that there is an end in sight. That doesn't necessarily mean it's all going to be over or it's all going to be gone. However, it seems like there has been a level of work that's been put in on your end. Capricorn is the GOAT. It is a hard worker. So I would assume that this definitely comes from a place of work that has been put in, an effort that has been put in, that is bringing you to a state of resolution, if you will. Now, what else can we find out about this? Next card that is really sticking out to me is the card of the mutable moon. And this card says that nothing yet is set in stone. So this card can be really encouraging. It can be challenging for people who like the security that might come with like finite answers and exact answers and whatnot. However, this can also be a really beautiful card because it's telling us that if you are in the middle of that rough patch, or if there are other things in your life that feel, or things in your life in general, I don't know why I said other, but if there are things in your life that feel like they are permanent in a good way or permanent in a bad way, this card is an encouragement to you that these things are not set in stone. You have the ability to carve out your life and to design your life in whatever way that you so choose. So there's a lot of beauty that is coming from this ability to see that like not everything is set in stone, for lack of a better word. I am feeling called, this doesn't often happen when I do online readings, but I am feeling called to read from the book directly on this one. If I can flip and find the page. That was a cute pun there. Okay, so mutable moon, nothing is yet set in stone. Okay, I'm going to read out the pieces that are sticking out to me. This card indicates that something is indeed changing, and there's room for maneuver. So take it as a sign that the situation you're asking about, if you asked a question, I know some of you may just have come into this reading without a question, but whatever this situation is, it is far from finalized. If you're not happy with the current state of play, that's marvelous. It means you can still change the course of an outcome. However, there is also a sense that a situation might feel a little bit unstable. And for some, this is great news because you can still influence it. But as noted, others may struggle with that uncertainty, but should stay with it a little longer. Either way, nothing is yet set in stone. If you want a mantra or something that you can say to yourself or carry with yourself, especially throughout this week, that might help, the attune to the moon phrase with this book says, I know that the best will unfold for me. And if that includes some rough patches here and there, ultimately that is providing quote unquote the best for you in your situation. Another card that's really encouraging for you for this upcoming week, I pulled New Moon in Cancer, and this card comes with the message that you and your loved ones are safe. Now, Cancer is a water sign, It's a very emotional sign. Cancer is also seen as the energy of the mother or the nurturer. So a lot of you may be in situations where you're wondering, like, am I safe in this context, or am I safe in this container, or in this working arrangement, etc. Or similarly, if there are people that you care about that you're wondering, like, oh, are they in a bad situation, etc. This doesn't necessarily say like they're in a great situation, they're in a bad situation, you're in a great situation, you're in a bad situation. This card is encouraging you to remember that as it stands right now, you are safe. That can mean that you are safe to make changes and make decisions. That can mean that you are safe to stay the course and to stay in what you are in. But there is an encouragement here with the new moon in Cancer sign that really comes down to this level of stability. Even if things inherently feel unstable, that might be part of what is challenging or tough for you. But there's a level of stability that is also inherent or inbred right now, which is really encouraging. Okay, 3 other cards. Those were the cards that flew out of the pile. I had 3 other cards at the top of the deck that felt like they just wanted to be pulled, so I pulled them. So I'm going to now read those messages to you guys and see what comes up. Ironically, all of these cards were pulled in reverse. So anytime a card is pulled in reverse, especially with Oracle, it can indicate things that may bring up shadow, things that might be a little bit challenging for us, things that we may have resistance to. However, they may also simply point to things that we may be projecting out onto the world around us, or pointing fingers to others, or pointing fingers to life, blame game, etc. And we might be being encouraged to turn within and to look within and see how life may be a mirror to us, or a reflection to us, or showing things to us about ourselves that maybe we don't love a ton or we really struggle with, as a means of helping us to better love those within ourselves and by result within other people. So first one I pulled, New Moon in Taurus in reverse. Prosperity lies ahead. Oh boy, so I'm feeling called to go back to the book on this one. Taurus energy, for those of you who are not familiar, Taurus is an earth sign. It is very grounded. It can, shadow side of Taurus can be very stubborn and a little bit like, I'm not going to say conceited because it's not at all the energy I'm going for, but like a little bit like set in your own ways, and like my way is, it's like my way or the highway kind of a deal. So encouragements with this card. Okay, so pulled in the upright position, this card can suggest you have what you want, including material things, but you must believe in yourself. This comes down to law of attraction. Value yourself and others will value you too. In the reverse, excuse me, I have a feeling that maybe some of you are struggling with a level of valuing, struggling with a level of value, especially like within the self, but also valuing your experiences, material experiences. Materiality is like a really big theme right now. Money might be a big theme for some of you. I think the tarot deck, which I'm going to pull from next, might speak to that a little bit more concretely. Ironically, I go to the additional meanings for the card. You will soon be able to afford the thing that you're dreaming of. Getting clear on what you value most will help you to find peace and potentially take some time out to pamper yourself. So this can be acknowledging your relationship to money and finances, and by extension, your relationship to work. This can also be acknowledging your relationship to yourself. So the new moon, the energy of the new moon is about like planting seeds and figuring out what's important to you. So new moon in Taurus is really about like planting the seeds of what you want, how you're going to create prosperity. In reverse, this may be a process that you have resisted. This may be a process that has been challenging for you, to really like sit down and identify and get clear with what seeds you want to be planting and how you want to be reaping the benefits of those seeds in the future. This exercise might be really helpful for you. Setting like a standing, amount within like, I cannot say things today. Setting a standing payment to like a savings account or something might also feel really good to some of you right now, to just go ahead and do that and getting automate. Some of you might want to automate that system. I don't know. So, finagling things within your paychecks, maybe something like that. So doing something to help create that stability long term, especially if you are again in that state where you're feeling like things are not stable or not providing the stability that you are looking for. That may be one path that could benefit you. Okay, Next card that I pulled in reverse the waning moon. This card comes with a message of what do you need to release. So the nature of life is change. There are going to be things that we will have come into our lives that we get to enjoy. And then there comes a point when we also need to release certain aspects of these things in our lives. This doesn't mean everything that you have that is stable or constant in your life you need to throw away and start anew. That also doesn't mean that you need to throw away things that are still benefiting you in your growth. This is a time when you might be being asked to acknowledge what things no longer serve you or carry you in this chapter. Because this card is pulled in reverse, as were the other two, this is likely looking at something that might be a little bit more internal, or like a piece of yourself or a belief system that you are carrying. This might be much more internal than it is like, I need to release these ties to this place or to these people or to these articles of clothing or whatever. Those may be symbolic representations, or they may help with that process of feeling like, like that purging is happening and occurring. But ultimately, there is likely something that an energy that you are entrenched in, or even not even entrenched in, but just like that you are communicating with or working with, that likely won't serve you moving into the next chapter. So it might be time to release those things. Finally, full moon in reverse. It's the third card that I pulled. So this has the message of surrender to the divine. I get a lot of dark feminine energy from this card right now, which I love. But there is definitely an element of surrendering to the way of life and the way that things are occurring and unfolding. My dear Capricorns, you are hardworking. I would know I am a Capricorn sun, so I understand the energy of Capricorn, and I understand that hardworking, grounded, earthy mentality, which is also tied to that Taurus energy a little bit. It can be really hard to release and to let go, especially to the more like wishy-washy, flowy, feminine, up, down, side, kind of all over the place energy, because it feels like chaos and it can feel very wishy-washy is the word that's coming up. And I'm also being called to bring this card up yet again and to remind you that nothing yet is set in stone. So if you surrender to this process, to this experience, to this job, relationship, paradigm, I'm getting new paradigm with like diet, like dietary paradigm for some of you. If you surrender to this new experience, you may be able to identify like aspects of it that can serve you and aspects of it that can help you along with your process and also benefit others. And you may also be able to identify the things that you don't necessarily want to carry and the things that you want to release and the things that you don't want to be holding on to anymore. So yeah, I hope that portion was helpful. Okay, I'm feeling called to pull one more of these, a quick little tarot, and then close out for you guys. So I love that I pulled this one for you guys. So I pulled New Moon in reverse, which states that a new start is coming. So some of you may be resisting this new start, this new change. Some of you may be really excited about it. This could be a new chapter for yourself, a new internal experience. It could be reflected externally. It might not be reflected externally right now, but whatever it is, there is like a new way of being for you that might be coming up that you might be resisting or afraid of or scared of. And I think it could be really, really beautiful. So this could be a really beautiful time to embrace that experience. All right, well, we already have one card that just stuck right out for you guys. So I am now going to pull from my Tattoo Tarot card deck. Okay, there's two. That one also wants to be pulled. I don't know why, but that one wants to be pulled. So this deck, it's newer and it's a little bit harder for me to shuffle. So please forgive me. This is going to be a little sloppy for a hot minute. All right. Two cards. Oh, okay. 2 cards is sufficient. Cool. Alrighty. We got some coins cards today. So I pulled for you guys the Ace of Coins in the upright position. I love the artistry on this deck. Feel free to take a minute to admire it. And then I also pulled in reverse the 6 of Coins card. So coins in general, or pentacles, depending on what deck you're using, etc. Coins, pentacles are the earth energy. So really bringing it back to home, bringing it back to that Capricorn energy, that earth energy. They symbolize the materiality of life a little bit more than the other cards in the tarot deck. And they symbolize like how we relate to our physical experience of wealth and abundance. And wealth and abundance oftentimes is going to be portrayed in the form of money. But I do want to encourage you guys to remember that for these particular cards, or for any time you get coins and pentacles, this can also refer to your material possessions, which don't have to just be money. So it could be your home, it could be the items that you hold near and dear to you. For me, like it'd be like my plants, my spirituality, card decks, and like those kinds of things. And then finally, to get a little bit more esoteric and not to confuse you, at a very base level, these are symbolic of energy. So the things that bring you energy and the things that bring you life, again, oftentimes rooted in the material in the material way or the material world. However, if those interpretations of these specific cards today are not resonating with you as much, then it's likely that it's indicative of something that is more like energetic currency for you. Okay, so where do I want to start with this one? So I'm going to start with the Ace of Coins. So again, coins has a lot to do with like money and materiality and whatnot. Anytime you pull an ace of any card in the tarot deck, it's often about like the beginning, something new, baby steps, little step-by-step, chip away kinds of methods. So very beginning of a new cycle. Again, I pulled for you guys just now the new moon in reverse. I pulled for you the full moon in reverse. I pulled for you guys release card. So obviously like all of these cards to me are telling me like new cycle is approaching. That will likely be reflected in a material way. This could be a really good thing. This could feel like a little bit challenging. The ace coins can also imply like starting something for yourself. So for some of you, maybe there's some entrepreneurial endeavors that you have on the cards, or things that you've like wanted to do for a while for yourself if you are a business owner within your own business. And these types of things, they might feel like the seeds, but they are seeds. And so to continue to nurture them might be very helpful. So in this upcoming week, just be aware of like new ideas that are coming through, specifically ideas that you want to bring into the physical form, not just ideas that you're like, oh, that's cool. Like ideas that you're like, I really want to bring life to this in a very physical way. So be on the lookout for those types of things that might be manifesting in your mind. With that being said, again, with like putting money into a savings account, like a standing, that might also be like a new cycle of experiencing finances for you. So if you do not work, as an entrepreneur or whatever, and this may be more in the endeavor of either your own personal investments or your own investment within yourself and, paying yourself first. So yeah, just pay attention to that energy and maybe spend some time understanding like what your values are in that regard or in that aspect of your life. Next, I have the Six of Coins in reverse. Generally, the sixes in tarot they signify like, so 5 is the number of change, and then 6 is what comes right after that. So that can be seen as either like recollecting oneself after a big change. This could be celebrating big changes, celebrating big successes. However, if these changes were hard or were seen as hardships, this could also be like a form of recovery. Ultimately, however, what I am getting out of this card for you guys is a level, actually between the two of these, is like a level of self-care, paying yourself first, making sure that you are investing in yourself and investing in the things that you identify as like being really important to you and very valuable to you. Ultimately, also, again, with the Ace of Coins, because this is like new endeavors, I think this also signifies a lot of potential abundance and opportunities and things that you have the ability to manifest. So with all the things that you might be experiencing in this upcoming week, my dear Capricorns, it looks like, as noted, prosperity lies ahead. Again, I think this one and the coins cards are really closely tied and related. Being in reverse, there might be some resistance to this, some delays with this. It might feel like some of the things here are challenging, but ultimately, I think it's just because you're being presented with opportunities to do things differently and to do things from like a new perspective, and that may take like a little bit of a push. So it's kind of like that initial like starting a change takes a little bit of push. But on the bright side, again, full moon in Capricorn, the end of a tough cycle approaches again. This could be in relationship to money, or your perspective or your view of money, or just the way that you experience it. Even if financially nothing, like fucking nothing in your life changes, it could mean that your relationship to the whole thing is going to shift, which is going to change your experience of it. So be open and be willing to also have that be a possibility if that's something that you want to call in. Remember that nothing is set in stone, so your actions can completely shift and change the course of your life and the way that you interact with people around you and with your dreams, etc. And then finally, there are a lot of potentially big changes coming for you, so or big changes that have been occurring, and these changes may likely be very internal for you, but ultimately I do think there's going to be a lot of prosperity that's going to come out of those. So the lessons that you're learning, my dears, are beautiful and right, and they are leading you on a path that ultimately, per the new moon in Cancer card, I think are going to ultimately keep you safe, and they will not lead you astray. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. If you found this helpful, please feel free to leave a little thumbs up or a comment below. If you don't want to leave your comments or information, feel free to just shoot me a message directly. You can find me here, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere at alexab.alchemy. And finally, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you can get access to these readings every single week. As noted for you, my Capricorns, I am dedicated and committed to, at the very least, continuing doing a reading for you guys every single week. So the support is here for you if and whenever you need it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.